they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds.
And now, Mike's thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we all seen this coming. The minute the Washington Commanders handed Deebo Samuel that massive extension, you knew the clock was ticking on Scary Terry. You knew from the front office, this incompetent front office, it was about to fumble the bag yet again. And now, here we are. Terry McLaurin has officially requested a trade and is entirely the Washington Commanders' fault. This isn't complicated. Terry has been the face of the franchise through absolute chaos. 5 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He puts up the numbers with the carousel of quarterbacks that range from watch up to unwatchable. And last year, he had a career best 13 touchdowns. 12 of them which came from rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels. That's chemistry, that's leadership, that's value. But apparently, Washington doesn't see it. Instead, they want to play hardball over his age. Please, you mean to tell me that you seen Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, and even Courtland Sutton just got? And you think Terry is one that doesn't deserve the payday? What are we doing here? Let's talk about loyalty. Terry didn't skip OTAs. He didn't hold out for months. He showed up. He signed autographs. He kept things professional, but he drew a line. No more field time until progress is made. And what has Washington done since then? Absolutely nothing. No momentum, no urgency, and damn it, no respect either. And now you got the fans chanting his names. Kids asking if he's staying, and you still think it's business as usual? Guys, let's be clear. Let's make this perfectly clear. If Washington lets Terry McLaurin walk, or worse, forces him to walk because they wouldn't pay him, they'll regret it for the next decade. Receivers like this do not grow on trees. They don't come around very often. And they sure in the hell do not stay loyal to a franchise that refuses to show them the same love back. But hey, congratulations on paying Deebo while you alienate the heart and soul of your offense. The front office just keeps finding ways to embarrass itself. And if you lose Terry McLaurin, this might be the biggest mistake ever. Ever. Pay the man. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw, steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off, get it hype. This man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman, everybody bringing heat. You don't really wanna try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckeye here with the Man Hour, guys, and welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, guys, your go-to spot for live, raw, uncut NFL talk. And I'm so glad you're with us here too for today. But before we dive into today's action, guys, let me tell you a little bit about manhourradio.com. That is where you can grab all your exclusive merchandise, check out the latest vlogs, and stay up to date everything what we're doing over here at Man Hour Radio. So, guys, if you're repping the Man Hour, guys, that is a place to do it. Do not forget to hit the like button, share this with a couple friends, and of course, subscribe to the channel as well. It is the best way to stay connected and with us to make sure you never miss a live, raw, uncut NFL show. Now, guys, remember, this is a live, interactive show, so make sure you comment down below. I want to hear what you think. I want to hear your thoughts and your opinions and your hottest of the hottest takes. We're all about that conversation today. But before we get too carried away, guys, we have a little spammer in the chat. So if you're at youtube.com, guys, and you see a bunch of things go flying across the screen, it is a spammer. I'm trying to block them. So let me know if you guys see that. It is over here on the YouTube shorts. So if you have a hashtag AFC South, head over to the main YouTube page, and bada bing, bada boom, you will get to see a live, raw, uncut version. But before we get to your getaway, I welcome the people in the chat. We got Mrs. Pigskin Pundit herself. We got Laura in the chat. What is up, Laura? Let me.
Pigskin Pun. Get you some.
Guys, Laura is a Pigskin Pundit. Guys, you can be like Laura. Hit the subscribe button down below. $4.99 a month gets you free entry into all of our weekly giveaways, into our NFL pick'ems, and of course, a lot extra streams as well. So be like Laura, guys, and welcome Laura to the show. Hey, what's up, Laura? What's up? What's up? We got my man, Alpha Rob, top fan over here. He says, what up, Buck Nasty? My man, Alpha Rob, you are the everydayer, man. You have been here for a very, very long time. And speaking of the spammer, there it is. Let me go ahead and block it again. Sorry about that, guys. But hey, welcome to the show, Alpha Rob. But if you guys are having a great day, drop down the like button, guys. And we are going to talk a little bit about the AFC South today. AFC South, guys, is arguably one of the worst divisions in football. No. They are the worst division in football. There is no question about it. When you think of the AFC South, you are going to think of some bad football. However, there are some bright points. There are some bright points from what we've broke down 2 months ago in today, and let's go ahead and dive right into it and talk about the Tennessee Titans. Because just 2 months ago, guys, I had the Tennessee Titans as a bad team. Matter of fact, I had this team pinned as a 2-win team. New coaching staff, uncertainty at quarterback, and a brutal schedule. Since then, what has happened? One thing, and one thing only, has changed my outlook on the Tennessee Titans, and that is the one and only Cam Ward. Guys, I expected a full-blown quarterback battle in training camp between Cam Ward and Will Levis. That kind of indecision usually stunts the growth development of a rookie quarterback. But with Will Levis undergoing the shoulder surgery last week, the door has swung wide open and Cam Ward has walked right through it. Matter of fact, he kicked in the door, taking the keys of the kingdom, becoming the leader and the poise and commanding the huddle that we all know that he could have done. It is no longer just about the potential. He has taken control and is all about what can Cam Ward do for us now. Now that does mean that does that mean that the Titans are playoff bound? No. Let's not go crazy. Let's not get it twisted. But this does rise their ceiling. Does this make them a little bit better? And I think they could finish anywhere between 2 and 7 wins in 2025, depending on how things break down. But like I said previously, I had them as a 2-win team. So let's go through the schedule week by week. Let's finally put some wins to their name and see where the Tennessee Titans will pan out. So guys, in the comments down below, let me know what you guys think the Titans' final record will be in the 2025 NFL season. But week number 1, they do travel on the road to Denver, Colorado to take on the Denver Broncos. This is a tough way to open up a season. Mile High is a tough place to play. Cam Ward is a rookie, and the Denver Broncos had a top 3, top 5 defense last season. It should carry over into 2025. And that defense under Sean Payton is just elite. The Broncos are back on track and should handle business. The Titans start 0-1 to start the season. And then week number 2, they're at home. Home opener for Cam Ward. All the buzz is around them, but they arguably welcome one of the best teams in the NFL into Nashville, Tennessee, and that is the LA Rams. Guys, Tennessee at home, but the Rams are just too loaded on offense with Stafford and Devontae Adams. The Titans fall down to 0-2. And week number 3 versus the Indianapolis Colts. They're at home, second home game, week 3, starting off 0-2. All the kind of buzz and hype around Cam Ward has kind of died off. And here's where Cam Ward gives you that spark. At home, divisional rival, and the Colts have holes in the secondary. The Titans grab their first win of the season, beating the Indianapolis Colts and moving them to 1-2 on the season. And then week number 4, they head down to Houston to take on the Texans. Guys, this is a loss. CJ Stroud and the Texans are rolling at this point. Not the matchup you want if you're still developing your offense. Moving into 1-3. Week 5, they travel to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Yet again, another loss for the Tennessee Titans. Guys, Arizona is sneaky good this season. Kyler Murray is back fully healthy, and Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to probably be a top 10 receiver in the NFL. And the Titans do not have enough firepower to keep up with the Arizona Cardinals at Arizona, moving them to 1-4 on the season. Tough road, but things get a little bit better toward the end of the season. Just not week 6 because they travel to Vegas to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. Hear it again. Yet another loss. Vegas is playing physical, hard-nosed football. Another road game, another loss, and the Titans dropped to 1-5 on the season. Now, week number 7, back at home, taking on the New England Patriots. They finally get a win. They finally is going to start to string in some good games together, and back at home against the Patriots team that is still trying to figure out their quarterback situation. Yes, we know Drake May is the man, the myth, the legend in New England, but let's just be honest, he's still trying to figure things out just a little bit. Cam Ward steps up and grabs the win number 2 of the season, with them to 2-5 on the year. And then week 8, they travel to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. And the Indianapolis, guys, they are tough out at home. The Colts get the revenge from the week 3 loss. The Titans can't sweep the series, especially on the road, moving into 2-6, heading into the bye week very, very soon. Not bye week's 10. Week number 9, they're at home taking on the LA Chargers. This is a win. Now, this is a bold one here. Guys, I think the Titans steal one here. Why? Because this is a classic trap game for the Chargers. Long travel, unfamiliar opponent, and Cam Ward lights it up, moving them to 3-6 on the season, heading into the bye week. A perfect time for a breather. Coaching staff makes some adjustments. Cam Ward resets mentally, and they might add some wide receiver help. Keep that in mind, wide receiver help. Moving them into week number 11. Week number 11, coming out of the bye week, they do play the Houston Texans at home. CJ Stroud outduels Cam Ward yet again. Guys, the Texans are just further along in their rebuild, and the Titans drop to 3-7 on the year. Week number 12. This is when things start to get interesting. They're back at home, take on the Seattle Seahawks. I think they get a win here. A big surprise win, guys. The Seahawks rolling as favorites, but the Titans defense shows up big, and Cam Ward delivers a signature moment, moving them to 4-7 on the year. And then they carry that momentum into week 13 versus the Jacksonville Jaguars at home, the 3rd home game in a row. And yet another upset. The Titans bring in the physicality and punch the Jacksonville Jaguars in the mouth. That's 3 home wins in 4 weeks. Guys, they are building something, and they're starting to get hot at the right time, moving into 5-7 on the year. But week 14, they travel to Cleveland to take on the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland's defense is a nightmare matchup. Myles Garrett wrecks the pocket, and Cam Ward struggles. The Titans fall to 5-8. Still in playoff competition, but they're in 5-8. Week 15, they're back on the road yet again, taking on one of the greats of the NFC West, and that is the San Francisco 49ers. This is a loss. There is no sugarcoating this one. Long trip west, elite defense, loaded roster. Titans get overwhelmed, moving them to 5-9 on the season. But listen here, guys, they're still in playoff competition because the AFC South sucks. All they need to do is win 2 of their last 3. They play the Chiefs, Saints, and Jaguars. There's a very possibility that they can sneak into the playoffs. Week 16, they're at home. Take on the Kansas City Chiefs. This is still Kansas City. This is still Patrick Mahomes. This is still Andy Reid. In December, they lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes is likely pushing a playoff seeding at this particular point, and the Titans just don't have the firepower to keep up. Moving into 5-10, more or less dropping them out of playoff competition at this particular point, but still a chance. Week 17, they're at home, take on the New Orleans Saints. It is a win. Here's a greedy late season win, guys. The Titans control the clock, make some timely stops, and Ward continues to develop, moving them to 6-10 on the year. But then, this is where the wheels fall off. Week 18, they travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. It is a loss. Jacksonville Jaguars is needing this one. This is a playoff game for the Jacksonville Jaguars and playoff positioning, and they got the revenge from week 13. The Titans wrap up the season 6-11. So, guys, I do think that the Tennessee Titans will go 6-11 in 2025. That's 4 more wins than I had them just 2 months ago, and that's all because of Cam Ward. He's been the difference. The floor is still low. They could still easily hammer out 2 wins if things spiral, but the ceiling, which now I think is about 7 wins. This is very much in reach. Catch one more divisional game or a surprise contender like the Kansas City Chiefs, they're knocking on that ceiling. But make no mistake, this is still a rebuild. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. This is still a rebuild. The good news is it's finally like they're moving in the right direction. So guys, in the comments below, do you believe Cam Ward is the future in Tennessee? Or is this a short-term flash and a long-term rebuild? Guys, subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time, right here at youtube.com/Manhour. This is a live interactive show, so comment down below. Let's get into the comments and discuss your thoughts. So, guys, what do you think? Are the Tennessee Titans better than advertised? Are they better than what we think they're going to be? Are they, let me close this real quick. Are they going to be a 2-5-6 win team? Where do you have them? Where do you have them? Alpha Rob says they're 4-13. They have nothing good. Nothing good at all. Tylen Brooks, or Burks, right? He's been released. He broke his collarbone last Tuesday. He's been released, or he's been waived. Nobody wanted him, so he's still on the roster until he's healthy, and then the Titans can officially release him. Calvin Ridley is injured, right? Who is your running back still? Tony Pollard? I haven't heard from him in 3 years. Ever since his Dallas Cowboys days, where has Tony Pollard been, right? Alpha Rob, you are right to an extent. They have nothing good happening. However, they do have some stuff happening. Cam Ward has the potential to remind me of CJ Stroud his rookie year. Calvin Ridley has an opportunity to be like Scary Terry and have his best year of his career with a rookie quarterback. There's still a lot of holes. Defense needs a lot of work. The running game, to be determined. The wide receiver core got a lot of holes to fill. Amari Cooper seems to be a great fit, but they're not calling him. Bring Amari Cooper into town. Do something at this particular point. But they're just like, nope, we don't love it. We hate it. Get us out of town at the end of the day. But hey, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Let's go ahead and move on to the next team, and that is the one and only Houston Texans. Guys, let's talk about those Houston Texans. 2 months ago, I was kind of high on this team, I guess. I had them pegged for 9 wins, and it felt right. Young roster, top-tier quarterback in CJ Stroud, a head coach in DeMeco Ryans that everybody seems to love. But who's got this team believing again? But now, I'm backing off those 9 wins just a little bit. I'm backing off of them potentially winning the AFC South. I'm backing off of them and being a competitor with the Buffalo Bills, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm backing off, and here is why. Guys, CJ Stroud's shoulder injury has me very, very concerned. Well, maybe not so much panic mode, but enough to reevaluate their situation. Add in the fact that Houston now has the first place schedule after last season's breakout, or the last 2 seasons breakout, and suddenly the path to double-digit wins doesn't look as clean. Guys, let's run it down week by week, and I'll give you my full prediction at the end of the Houston Texans. Week number 1, the Houston Texans have no favors in this schedule starting off early. Week number 1, they travel to LA to take on the Rams. It is a loss for them right out of the gate. Opening on the road against the Rams is a team that's reloaded that just added Devontae Adams. They're in a tough spot. CJ Stroud may not be 100%. The old line is suspect at best. That is a problem. 0-1 start. Week number 2, they're at home this time, but taking on another really, really good, underrated team in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is another loss. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is solid, and Baker Mayfield continues to be underestimated. Back-to-back losses to start the year. Everything is tough. Everything is tough right now in Houston. Nothing is coming easy. Apparently, guys, you want to watch full NFL season, go to NFLCBS.com. Don't do it. They're spamming the hell out of me tonight. I can't stop it. I'm sorry about that. Week number 3, they're back on the road, taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Guess what? Another loss. Jacksonville Jaguars are rebuilding as well, but they're at home in a division rivalry early. Another uphill battle, guys. The Texans dropped to 0-3 on the season, and the fans are starting to get relentless. I'm starting to pound my chest, say I told you so. I told you the Texans have been overrated. But week 4, they back at home, taking on the Tennessee Titans. Finally, they get a win. Finally, they put one on the left side of the column. The Titans are still trying to figure out what it is underneath Cam Ward, and Houston protects the home turf, moving them to 1-3 on the season. But then week number 5, the brutal schedule continues. The first place schedule continues. They go to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. This one is brutal. On the road against Lamar Jackson in the middle of the early season grind, the Texans fall to 1-4 heading into the bye week. Much needed bye week come week 6. They need some rest. They need to recalibrate. They need to figure out what they're doing on with their life. All of this NASCAR racing BS about how great the wide receivers are, we need to figure it out. They need to figure it out. Something needs to click in Houston, and it's not going to happen in week 6 when they travel to Seattle to take on the Seahawks, because that is yet another loss. Seattle with Cooper Kupp and that reamped offense is too much for the Texans team that's still searching for consistency. They moved to 1-5 on the season. It is tough. And their gauntlet of a schedule continues in this early season, and they're back at home taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Guys, the San Francisco 49ers might be one of the most complete teams in the league. Even at home, this feels like a tall task for the Houston Texans. The Texans slide to 1-6 on the season. Ouch! Where is Mellow Mike? Somebody come get your boy. Somebody check his pulse, because 1-6 to start the season, that's tough. People are jumping off the bandwagon. But everything that's bad always has a rainbow at the end, right? You have to go through the storm to see the rainbow. And right now, they have gone through the storm. Things get a little bit easier, and things start to click for them down the stretch. Week number 9, they're back at home, taking on the Denver Broncos. This is where things start to shift. They are getting healthy, they are getting confident, and they take down a tough Denver Broncos team, moving them to 2-6 on the season. Moving on to week 10. At home, yet again, taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. 3 straight home games. This is a revenge game. This is the divisional game. CJ Stroud plays with an edge in this one, and suddenly it's 3-6 on the season. Suddenly, they are one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Yes, they're still 3-6. Yes, they still got some tough games ahead of them, but they're playing damn good football right now. Week 11, they travel to Nashville to take on the Titans. Another divisional win. They're not out of it yet. CJ Stroud is heating up, 4-6 on the year. Look out, baby, because they're coming. And week 12, everybody has this game circled. 2 of the hottest teams in the NFL are playing each other in Houston when the Buffalo Bills come into town. This is an upset alert. The Bills aren't the same juggernaut that they were 2 years ago, especially on the road. The Texans take full advantage at home and pull within 1 game of 500, moving into 5-6 on the season. And yet the winning streak continues into week 13 when they travel to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Houston's continued the momentum. The Colts struggle to stop the passing game, and CJ Stroud slices them up 6-6 and very much alive in the AFC playoff race. But everything that's good comes to an end. And week 14, when they travel to Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Kansas City Chiefs, this is where the streak ends. Arrowhead in December, that's Mahomes' house. The Texans fall to 6-7 on the year. But week 15, back at home, take on the Arizona Cardinals. A bounce-back week for the Houston Texans. Cardinals are improved, but they're still flawed defensively. The Texans move back to 7-7 on the year. And then week 16, taking on the Las Vegas Raiders at home. This is a trap game, guys. This is a trap game. The Raiders are coming in hot, and Houston doesn't match the intensity, dropping in the 7-8 on the year. Week 17, they travel to LA to take on the Chargers. Justin Herbert has that hardball-led Charger squad, and they are pushing for the playoffs. Tough road test. The Texans drop to 7-9 on the season and officially lock in a losing season. But then week 18, they bounce back strong against the Indianapolis Colts at home. They close out strong, protect home field, and sweep the Colts, and giving them the final record of 8-9 on the season. Guys, I have backed off the Texans quite a bit. Granted, it's not a huge step back, but going from 9 wins to an 8-win season, that becomes you a losing season. That becomes you have to win the division to get into the playoffs. But that is not the leap forward that many people like Mellow Mike was searching for. Stroud's health is a huge X factor. I'm really worried about his shoulder. If he's good to go all year long and the offensive line holds up, this team's ceiling could be about 10 to 11 wins. But if the schedule grinds them down, and it's very well might, 7 wins is the realistic floor. So the floor for the Texans, I feel, is going to be about 7 wins. The ceiling is 10 wins. 7 to 10 wins for the Houston Texans in 2024. Still, this team is right on track, though. They're young. they're hungry, and they're going to be around in the AFC conversation for a very, very long time. So even though they only win 8 games this season, they're still in the conversation of the AFC playoff picture. But in the comments down below, guys, do you think CJ Stroud's shoulder is going to hold up all season long? And can the Texans make a late playoff push despite the brutal schedule? Guys, subscribe, hit the like button, and remember, we're live Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at youtube.com/manhour. Now, this is a live, interactive show, so comment down below. Let's get into the comments and discuss your thoughts. Alpha Rob says their Texans will be 9-8. They win the South, play their usual Saturday wildcard game, and get bounced. I agree to you to an extent. 2 months ago, that's exactly where I had them. But the health of CJ Stroud's shoulder does have me concerned, Alpha Rob. Does have me concerned. Alpha Rob says they play in the worst division of quarterbacks. That is 100% facts. We're going to talk about the Colts quarterback situation coming up here. The Jaguars quarterback situation. They paid Trevor Lawrence way too early. And then Cam Ward has the potential to be good. They are tough. Speaking of Mellow Mike, I see him in the chat says, Buck. The Texans defense has been dominating the offseason. Pass rush and secondary. Alpha Rob, you are correct. The Texans defense has looked great this offseason. The Texans defense has looked pretty damn dominant at times this offseason. However, they are playing one of the most average offenses in the NFL day after day. Whether you want to admit it or not, the Houston Texans offense is average at best. Their running back is Joe Mixon is out for at least till week 3, right? Tank Dell is still out. No more Stephon Diggs. It is tough sledding if you're a Houston Texans offense right now. Mellow Mike says, all we need is 18 points and we'll be looking to take us to the Super Bowl. Whoa, slow it down, baby. Slow it down, baby. Super Bowl? We're not even talking about playoffs. We're talking about Super Bowl? If you average 20 points a game, you think you're going to the Super Bowl, Mellow Mike? Somebody go check this man's pulse, because he is living deja vu in dreamland. He might be in a coma right now for crying out loud. The only reason why the Texans defense looks dominant, Mellow Mike, is because you're playing an average team day after day. Wait until week 3 of the preseason. Then let's talk about their dominant defense. Let's talk about their offense right now. They may not even average 18 points, Mellow Mike. With Joe Mixon out, yeah, you got, what's his face? Nick Chubb that might be able to pick up the slack just a little bit. But look at your receiver core. Do you truly trust your receiver core right now? I am legitimately asking. When you look at your receiver core, yes, you do have a number 1 receiver in Nico Collins. Sure. Is he a top 10 receiver in the NFL? Absolutely not. Then you have Christian Kirk. Definitely not a top 10 number 2 receiver in the NFL. No. Tank Dell, probably going to be out most of the season, if not all of the season, right? Your lone bright spot of the receiver core is Dalton Schultz. However, he seems to be over the hill as of late. And then let's look at the offensive line. Let's look at your offensive line. Arguably one of the worst offensive lines last season. Granted, you traded everybody, say, get out of town, we're going to draft the offensive line. They still haven't proven shit to me. Defense, sure. You got Tuala, whatever, right? You got Derek Singletary. I kind of like him. CJ Garner-Johnson. I do like Will Anderson. And I think you're right. I think he might be defensive rookie of the year or defensive player of the year. But beyond that, come on, man. Be realistic. We winning 10 to 12 games. CJ Stroud was from bulking up this offseason. Okay. Okay. How many points did the Chiefs average last season? They averaged 22 points a game last season. They also did legitimately have a dominant defense last season. They also did legitimately only give up, 16, 15 points per game. Come on, man. Mellow Mike says, Buck, we made the NFL MVP look pedestrian and had the worst game of his career. Listen, even a blind squirrel finds a nut. Even a broke clock is right twice a day. Even you can pick one correct game a season, Mellow Mike. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills had a bad game. They just match up bad. It is what it is. It was just a bad game. Just a bad game. Jaden Higgins and Christian Kirk are balling. Okay. We've seen Christian Kirk ball out in preseason before. There's a reason why he's on his third team in 4 years. I'm just saying. And Alpha Rob is right. Their old line is still shaky at best. At best, they're shaky. Facts are facts, brothers. Facts are facts. But guys, I do have the Houston Texans having a losing season, sitting at 8-9. To me, their floor is 7. The ceiling is 10. But guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Now let's move on to a team that's near and dear to my heart. Let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts. Guys, 2 months ago, I had them pegged for 8 wins. Why? Why, you ask? Because everything pointed to Daniel Jones being the week 1 starter. The veteran presence, they were mobile just enough, experienced enough to manage his team through a soft early schedule. But now that quarterback battle has completely flipped, and Anthony Richardson seems to be surging, and every sign is pointing to him coming out of camp being the guy. Now, that's exciting for Anthony Richardson, but it also changes a lot of expectations for me. This team will more than likely start slow with Anthony Richardson at the helm. Growing pains are inevitable with a young quarterback who still misses a good chunk of last season. But there's a path where Daniel Jones can still see the field and right the ship down the stretch. So the range is very, very wide for the Indianapolis Colts. They could have a terrible number 1 overall draft pick with the 4-win floor. But I think if they catch the right momentum, if Daniel Jones plays all 18 NFL games, this team could be a 9 or even a 10-win team. A wide range. Floor of 4 wins, ceiling of 10. But guys, let's go week by week. I'll give you my final win-loss prediction for the Indianapolis Colts of 2025. But week number 1, they're at home, taking on a highly overrated Miami Dolphins team. Guys, and the Indianapolis Colts come out strong. Miami Dolphins are still trying to figure things out between the Hill and the 2 and the Bradley Chubb. They don't know what's going on in Miami. And the Colts steal one early at home, moving into 1-0. And then back at home, week number 2, back-to-back home games to start the season is a gift. And they welcome the Denver Broncos into town. Indy rides the early momentum to start 0-2, beating down the Denver Broncos. The highly overrated Denver Broncos, I might add. I just want to put that out there. A little stab and twist. But then week number 3, everything comes crashing back down to reality as the favorite band Smash Mouth like to says. Week 3, they travel to Nashville to take on the Titans. This is where Anthony Richardson, inexperience, might show. On the road, in the division, and rookie Cam Ward is catching fire at this particular point. The Colts dropped to 2-1 on the season when they lose to the Tennessee Titans come week 3. Week number 4, they're back on the road. Their schedule does them no favors. It's a rough travel spot and a tough opponent. Stafford and that offense exposes a young Colts defense, moving them to 2-2 on the season. But finally, week 5, they're back at home, taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. And they handle business against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders team, they are gritty, but they're not explosive. Guys, the Colts have jumped back above 500, moving to 3-2 on the year. But then week number 6, Week number 6, they play the Arizona Cardinals at home. Guys, I am in love with this Arizona Cardinals team. The Arizona Cardinals team is sneaky. Kyler Murray makes just enough plays. Marvin Harrison Jr. is back in his old stomping grounds, and Indy can't keep up with the shootout 3, dropping them to 3-3 on the year. And then week number 7, travel to LA to take on the Chargers. Herbert, Harbaugh, and the West Coast road trip, not ideal. The Colts dropped to 3-4 on the season. However, insert week 8. Insert home game. Insert Tennessee Titans. A revenge game. Indy wins the rematch and snaps the skid at home, moving them to 4-4 on the year. But then week number 9, they travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. That Pittsburgh Steelers defense gets to Anthony Richardson early and often. Hell, he might even be knocked out of this game, or he might tap himself out. He's too tired to play in the fourth quarter. It's just a messy day on the road, and the Colts drop to 4-5. And then week number 10, they travel across the pond to Germany to take on the Atlanta Falcons. This neutral site game, and the Falcons are still trying to figure things out under center, a.k.a. Michael Penix Jr. is highly overrated as well. The Colts clean it up and grab a much-needed win heading into the bye week at 5-5. Now, week 11, bye week. They are 500 at this particular point. Anthony Richardson, I feel, has lost the team 100%. People have been screaming for Daniel Jones to come in since week 3. But guess what? We do not get that luxury because week 12, Anthony Richardson is still at the helm when they travel to Kansas City and they get beat down by the Kansas City Chiefs. This is no place for a young quarterback, and the Colts drop to 5-6 on the year. And then week 13, they're back at home, taking on the Houston Texans. CJ Stroud outduels Richardson yet again, and the Texans are just further along in the rebuild than the Indianapolis Colts, dropping them to 5-7. Week 14, the losing streak continues as they travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. A tough road divisional game. The Colts just don't have the horses to hang late in the year, dropping them to 5-8 on the season. Week 15, they travel to the West Coast to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle in December, guys, is no joke. Matter of fact, Seattle at home, period, is no joke. Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones, it doesn't matter. This is a tough environment, and the Colts fall to 5-9. Week 16, they are back at home. They're back at home. It's a shock to the system. Colts play loose, and the 49ers have probably overlooked them at this particular point. Indianapolis pulls off the biggest upset of the season, winning versus the 49ers, moving them to 6-9 on the year. And then that momentum continues into week 17 versus the Jacksonville Jaguars at home. They are still battling for a playoff position. They're still battling for the AFC South crown. This is a pride game per chance. Indianapolis plays spoilers and knocked off the Jacksonville Jaguars in a chippy divisional matchup, moving them to 7-9. Guys, they are right there. They win one more game, they get first place in the AFC South. But the Houston Texans are sitting in the same boat they're in. Win one game, you win the AFC South. Colts travel to Houston in the season finale, and the Houston Texans won it a little bit more, and they close it out strong. The Colts wrap up the season 7-10 with the loss to the Houston Texans. So, guys, I do have the Indianapolis Colts finishing 7-10 in 2025. That's just one game below where I had them 2 months ago. But, however, I feel like how they got there is the key. If Richardson starts the year and struggles, don't panic. Daniel Jones gets inserted late and they pick up steam. This team could still sneak into that 9, 10, if not 11 win range if everything clicks. But the floor is too real. If Anthony Richardson starts slow, guys, the Colts and then the Colts commit to him long-term haul, 4 wins is entirely possible. It all hinges on the quarterback position. How long is the leash for Anthony Richardson? That is the question. So, guys, in the comments down below, should the Colts roll with Anthony Richardson all year long no matter what? Or should Daniel Jones be ready to take over the season when the season starts slipping away? Guys, subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at youtube.com/manhour. This is a live interactive show. So comment down below. Let's get into your comments and discuss them. There's James Frank. I haven't seen you all day, man. James Frank says, I'll say it by saying go Chubb a lot this year. James, I got a chub by you saying go Chubb. James Frank says, growing pains of him hearing the bench calling after he gets hit a little too hard. Ugh. Mellow Mike says, Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions against us last season. Issue was the OC. Kaylee's going to fix that. This offense looks much improved. We'll see. We'll see. Alpha Rob says the Colts will go 6-11. Their passing game is going to hold them back, which is tough because they have Michael Pittman Jr. He is kind of like the Larry Fitzgerald of the Colts. You want him to do well. You want him to win, like go to the Super Bowl. You want him to like have success. But you are right. The passing game is going to probably hold them back. Mellow Mike says Richardson or Danny Dimes, no quarterback equals no chance. Listen, Anthony Richardson does not fit what Kevin Stefanski wants to run in Indianapolis. Danny Dimes does fit that system well. Danny Dimes fits the system very, very well. Danny Dimes is a RPO pocket, roll the pocket type of quarterback. That's just who he is. So if Danny Dimes starts, Mellow Mike, your Houston Texans need to be on the lookout because they coming, baby. They coming. But Mellow Mike and I agree. The Colts will go 7-10. That's tough, baby. That's tough. That is tough. I think we're on the same page. Texans D made Richardson tap out. He wasn't even in a octagon. Anthony Richardson is a bitch. I said it. It is what it is. I don't care how tired you are. I don't care how struggle you are. I don't care if you just need a little breather, coach. Bro, it's 4th and 1. You are the quarterback of your team. If you get that first down, you win that game. If you get that first down, you're probably going to the playoffs. I'm tired, coach. I'm tired. Harbaugh legit making Trey Lance look like an MVP right now. It's the Hall of Fame game. Mellow Mike, you need to slow it down, baby. You need to slow it down, baby. Because during the Pigskin Pundits afternoon drive live stream today, this is exactly what I said. I said there is going to be moments in this game where their quarterback, like Hendon Hooker or Trey Lance, is going to look like a great quarterback. Let's flash back to 2 to 3 years ago, right? It was the Jets versus the Cleveland Browns in the Hall of Fame game. Aaron Rodgers just got to New York, sitting on the sideline. He is talking with the people up in the booth, and they're ranting and raving about DTR. Dorian Thompson-Robertson, right? I believe he was a rookie at the time, fresh out of UCLA. Oh, this guy looks like Deshaun Watson. Aaron Rodgers like, I told you so. This man's going to be a beast. Everybody was ranting and raving about him. He had a hell of a game. He looked like I am watching the game as well. He's looking like Trey Lance out there. He looked really, really good. Where is DTR now? Where is DTR now? Is he even in the NFL anymore? Now, do not get it twisted. I think Trey Lance has gotten the short end of the stick in Dallas and in San Francisco. Granted, in Dallas, he was simply there just to be a part, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But he could have been a backup. He should be battling for a starting spot somewhere. But in San Francisco, he definitely got the short end of the stick. He broke his leg, never saw the field again. It just sucks. Now, there's a far difference between Trey Lance and DTR. I get it. But they're both looking pretty good on the Hall of Fame game. Looked pretty good on the Hall of Fame game. Let's not get crazy. Let's not put MVP in Trey Lance right now because he's still a backup to Justin Herbert. Hell, he may not even make the team. They got Easton Stick there, right? So, damn, slow it down, baby. Slow it down, baby. And Alpha Rob says, do not bring up that guy. He is the worst quarterback I have ever seen. He had flashes, right? He had flashes of greatness, right? It's legit in one series. This man could look like an MVP, could look like Deshaun Watson, could be leading the team to the promised land, and legit the very next play, he could turn the wrong way, fumble the snap, tried to pick it up, kick it across the field, hit off his face mask, and still get sacked. It was so extreme on either side. If he could just narrow it down a little bit, he could have been a backup somewhere. I don't think he's even on the NFL anymore. That's just tough. Mellow Mike says Shane Steichen and Hurts was more polished. We ain't sweating the Colts. They lost their second best interior lineman to the Vikings. Good luck against Anderson and Hunter. Mellow Mike, you are correct. They did lose their offensive lineman. However, they have an RPO game. If Daniel Jones is in there, could be very, very unstoppable. Because you got a big body receiver like Michael Pittman Jr. You still have JT. Hell, they signed Khalil Herbert as a backup. Come at me, bro. Come at me. Colts are coming, baby. They're coming. Trey Lance has 3 touchdowns. Looks more polished and confident than any point of his career. Layering the passing and learning how to touch. Listen, when you play behind a top 5 quarterback in Dak Prescott for the last several years, you are going to get better. You are going to get more polished. I hope somebody sees that. Somebody like James Frank's Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns need a quarterback. They need to cut Joe Flacco, trade Dylan or Shedeur Sanders, whichever one. Kenny Pickett, probably trade him out of town too, and bring in somebody like Trey Lance. That is hungry. That needs a shot. This spammer is really starting to piss me off. I'm not even going to front. So if you guys are over there on YouTube Shorts, head over to the main page. I'm trying to delete them as I see them, but they're coming in so fast. So, and I understand they're going over to Facebook as well, guys. I definitely apologize. Not a lot I can do. It is NFL season, and NFLBTV.com is where you can watch the Hall of Fame game live. They're acting like it's not live on local television, but whatever. But guys, now let's move on to arguably one of the most confusing teams in the NFL. Let's break down the roller coaster, guys. That is the 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars. Two months ago, I was actually pretty high on this team. I had them as a 9-win team, largely because I expected that offense to lean on the run game, lean on Tank Bigsby. He was emerging as a running back one last season, and I really anticipated Travis Etienne finding a new home, getting pushed out of Jacksonville. But that clearly is not the direction that the team is heading. Mr. Duval himself. Everything out of training camp says that Travis Etienne is the guy. He has gotten nearly every carry in training camp, and I got to be honest, that's not a backfield that screams physicality or ball control. Add in a wide receiver core that doesn't inspire much confidence either. Now that is the real concern, and whether this offense has consistency to support a playoff push or not. And then there's Travis Hunter. Yes, he is electric talent. There's no question about that. But the idea of him playing both ways on offense and defense, how he's played 63 snaps in training camp alone just in 3 days on both sides of the ball. That's just not bold. It's risky. You are risky stunning his development and flat out wearing him out before he even hits his stride. But hey, who am I to say what to do in Jacksonville? But for right now, guys, I am backing off the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think their floor is 4 wins. I think they might get a 4-win season. Their ceiling is not very good. 9 wins if everything hits right, but the path is getting narrower and narrower. So guys, let's go by week, a full prediction at the end, giving you the Jacksonville Jaguars. And week number 1 of all that shit I just talked, they open up at home, take on the Carolina Panthers, and they open up strong at home. Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers are still trying to figure things out, and the Jaguars jump out to 1-0. I love it. Week number 2, they're on the road, take on the Cincinnati Bengals. A tough road trip. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and that Cincinnati offense overwhelms the Jaguars defense, moving them to 1-1 on the year. Week 3, at home, taking on the Houston Texans. They're back at home with the big divisional matchup, and they find rhythm in the run game. Travis Etienne looks solid here. Do not get it twisted. One game is one game, but they do move the 2-1 on the year. But then the wheels start to fall off the wagon. Not because they're not very good, because their schedule gets pretty tough, right? Pretty tough. Week 4, they travel to the West Coast to take on the San Francisco 49ers. There's no sugarcoating this one, guys. Jacksonville Jaguars isn't built to survive a physical slugfest in San Francisco. They're going to run down their throats over and over and over again. Trevor Lawrence should probably get a haircut after this game because they're going to get burnt so bad, moving them to 2-2 on the year. Then week 5, they're back at home. Back-to-back tough matchups, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes outguns Trevor Lawrence in this one, dropping them to 2-3 on the year. And then week 6, it does not get any easier for them as well, because they're back at home yet again, playing the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks guys are loaded this year and can score from anywhere. The Jaguars just don't have the firepower to keep up, dropping into 2-4 on the year. However, week 7, they play the LA Rams. Now, if this was at Jacksonville, Rams all day long. If this was at LA, Rams all day long. But they're playing across the pond. They're playing in UK, the neutral site in London, where Jacksonville Jaguars always play well. Matter of fact, they have a winning record over the pond. They steal this one from the LA Rams, moving them to 3-4 on the year. Coming back in week 8 is their bye week. Nice and relaxed, but hey, relax is what they don't want. They need to stay focused. In week 9, they lose focus when they travel to Vegas to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. A trap game coming off the bye. Cross-country trip and a physical Raiders defense gets the better of them, dropping them to 3-5 on the year. Week 10, back on the road yet again. Take on the Houston Texans. And the Houston gets revenge at home. CJ Stroud makes plays, and the Jacksonville Jaguars fall to 3-6 on the year. It's a tough sledding, baby. But week 11, they're back at home. And this feels like a desperation game in my eyes. The Jacksonville Jaguars fight hard and pull one out versus the LA Chargers, moving them back up to 4-6 on the year. Week 12, they travel back to the West Coast in Phoenix, Arizona to take on the Cardinals. And the Arizona Cardinals surprise them. Kyler Murray is dialed in. The Jaguars yet let another road game slip away. Matter of fact, they get blown out. They lose by 40 in this game, dropping into 4-7. Week 13, they're back on the road yet again, taking on the Tennessee Titans. Divisional game on the road, and Cam Ward is making some noise at this particular point. The Jaguars stumble, moving them to 4-8 on the year. Now, week 14, they're back at home. They take care of business versus the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts aren't ready for the pressure of trying to win the AFC South, and the Jacksonville Jaguars moved to 5-8. Week 15, they're at home yet again, and the New York Jets offense just can't get it going. Sorry, Justin Fields, you're going to stumble toward the 8 because that's the Jets' MO. The Jacksonville Jaguars win one ugly, moving them to 6-8 on the year. Week 16, they travel to Mile High Stadium to take on the Denver Broncos late season altitude game, and the Denver Broncos defense gets after Trevor Lawrence. The Jaguars fall to 6-9 on the year. Week 17, they're back on the road, take on the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis is playing spoiler or maybe even still in the hunt. Either way, the Jaguars lose another divisional game on the road, dropping into 6-10. Then week 18 at home, take on the Tennessee Titans. They try to finish on a high note. They sweep the Titans at home and close out the season 7-10. Guys, this team just doesn't have the offensive depth to overcome tough matchups or survive long slumps. If Travis Etienne gets worn down or Travis Hunter becomes overused, things could fall apart quickly. That's why the floor is 4 wins for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are relying on too many what ifs. What if Travis Hunter is the man? What if Travis Etienne isn't a bust? But if they stay healthy, if Lawrence gets hot, and the defense holds its own, 9 wins is still in play. So guys, in the comments down below, do you think the Jacksonville Jaguars can compete in the AFC South with Travis Etienne still as RB1 and not Tank Bigsby? Or should they just hand the keys over to Tank by now? That's the question. Guys, subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at youtube.com/manhour. Now, this is a live interactive show, so comment down below. Let's get your thoughts and comments. Alpha Rob says 8 and 9. They have talent. They just can't put it together. Lawrence should be under pressure to perform. If he doesn't, it's time to move on. Alpha Rob, you are exactly right. In hindsight, the Jaguars got a new GM. They got a new coach, baby. Neither of them are Trevor Lawrence's guy. I forgot the coach's name. Lehman Cohen, right? He is not Trevor Lawrence. He did not draft Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has to be on a short leash. Trevor Lawrence has to be like, hey, it's time to shit or get off the pot. It's time to put up or shut up, right? Trevor Lawrence has to perform this season. He got paid, 3 years ago? He led the Jaguars to the playoffs. Had a 28-point lead in the playoffs. Hasn't done shit since. Have they had a winning season since then? Trevor Lawrence is on the hot seat, 100%. Mellow Mike says, please, Trevor Lawrence always has been overrated. Jaguars win 9 games, still too short. Listen, Mellow Mike, if Jaguars win 9 games, they're winning the division. And when they win the division, Trevor Lawrence is probably going to get yet another contract. So he is definitely overrated. Got paid way too early. Hasn't done shit since he's been paid. So as a Houston fan, you hope for 9 wins. Hope for the 9 wins. Hope for a playoff berth. And hope Trevor Lawrence gets paid yet again. Mellow Mike says, going to find out Trevor Hunter is a better cornerback than a wide receiver. Brian Robertson, he is a legit stud. Honestly, if Travis Hunter would focus on one side of the ball, whether it be receiver or cornerback, he could be a rookie of the year on either side of the ball, I think. But since they're splitting him up, doing whatever he is going to do, it's stupid, right? But beyond Brian Thompson, beyond Travis Hunter, you have De'Ami Brown. He was okay in Commanders during the playoffs, but before the regular season, he was shit. Other than that, I don't know anybody on the Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver core. I don't know their tight end. Yeah, they still have Eric Armstead on the defense. They got Josh Hines Allen, right? They have Darnell Savage, but really, these are all middle of the road players. I'm not saying they're bad because obviously they're in the NFL. They are good, but the Jacksonville Jaguars just don't have any depth. They don't have that star power, right? Travis Hunter could be the star power at some point, but I just don't see it. Although Mike says the Texans winning the division with 11 and 12 wins, including putting the belt to the Chiefs' ass. Man, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. You can try to beat the Chiefs all you want. It's just not going to happen, brother. Not going to happen. But guys, it is Thursday. So that means one thing only. It is time for Thursday Inferno. Guys, Thursday Inferno is what's been firing up across the NFL landscape. It is what is going on in the NFL landscape. It is what is getting us fired up. The hottest takes in football, guys. This weekly segment is we turn up the heat and takes the scoring. It takes the scourging. Guys, every Thursday night we throw out caution to the wind and drop bold, unfiltered opinions on everything that's happening around the NFL. From controversial player rankings to explosive game predictions and the front office criticism, Thursday Inferno, guys, is where football's hottest debate takes center stage. No safe take, no sugarcoating, just pure passionate football talk. Designed to spark discussion and challenge the status quo. Whether you agree or you think I've lost my mind, it's all a part of the fire, baby. Welcome to Thursday Inferno. Alrighty, guys, so it is Thursday, and that means it's time to light things up. Welcome to the Inferno, where we bring the heat, and I'm not holding this one back. Guys, I am not holding this back at all. Let me be perfectly clear when I say this. Let me clear my throat. Let me pull up my chair because it's falling down. Make sure you assholes can hear me in the back. Guys, CJ Stroud is not a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. There, I said it. Somebody had to. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. CJ Stroud is not a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Now, before all you Stroud truthers out there start typing in all caps in the comments, breathe, listen, and understand. I am not saying that CJ Stroud isn't talented. I'm not saying he's not the face of the Texans. I'm not saying he didn't have an electric rookie season 2 years ago, or that he didn't lead the Houston Texans to back-to-back playoff appearance. But let's stop acting like he's already elite. Because being a top 10 quarterback, that's more than just stats. That's more than just throwing for 4,000 yards. That's more than just having a highlight reel of getting hyped on social media. Because being top 10 means leadership. It means command. It means standing tall when the pressure is at its peak. And I'm sorry, but last season proved that CJ Stroud ain't there yet. Let's rewind to that moment. Tank Dell goes down. And what does CJ Stroud do? He is on the sideline, head in his towel, crying like a baby back bitch. Let me say this loud and clear for the people in the back. A top 10 quarterback doesn't cry on the sideline. He locks in, he absorbs the pain, and turns it into purpose. He puts it deep inside his soul and lets it burn like fire. He leads, he rallies, he doesn't get emotional, he doesn't let emotions run the show. He becomes a show. Guys, you think Tom Brady is crying on the sideline mid-game? You guys think Patrick Mahomes is sitting with the tear when Travis Kelce goes out? Do you guys think Joe Burrow is folding emotional when he loses Jamar Chase or T. Higgins? No. They get colder, they get sharper, they get better. CJ Stroud didn't. He got quieter. He looked shook. And yeah, he still played fine. But we're not talking about fine. We're talking about top 10. And right now, CJ Stroud is not in that tier. Yeah, he's got an arm. Yeah, he's got upside. Yeah, he's got them. Yes, he's the most important piece in Houston. But without him, the team is nothing. That is a fact, sure. And you know what else? That's not a compliment either. It's a red flag. Top 10 quarterbacks that elevate everybody, but they don't make you wonder what the team is with even without him. They build a system. They create stability. Houston is riding the roller coaster. Look, I'm not trying to bury CJ Stroud. I'm not writing his story. I'm just telling you he ain't on the table with the elites yet. He still has to prove that he has the moment in darkness he's become the brightest light. Until then, he's just another young, talented quarterback. Not elite, not top 10. So guys, in the comments down below, do you guys think CJ Stroud truly is a top 10 quarterback right now? Or is the hype getting way ahead of the reality? Subscribe. Hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time, right here at youtube.com. This is a live interactive show. Let's get down to the comments down below. Mellow Mike. Mellow Mike. Mellow Mike. Mellow Mike. He says, bro, slow it down, baby. He says, slow it down, baby. His best friend, kneecap was turned the other way. Potential career-ending injury. Okay. And he sat there and he cried. He collapsed under the pressure. He did not perform for the rest of the season. Do you think other top 10 quarterbacks would have done that? No. He sat there and he cried. He fell apart. He was gone for the rest of the game. I don't care if it's your best friend. I don't care if it's your rival. I don't care if it's your frenemy. Dude, you have to lock in. You have to lock in. It is what it is. My eyes are burning. You have to lock in. You have to figure yourself out at the end of the day. Alfred Rob said he was crying like he was never going to see Dell again. Yeah, he's like, man, we're at a funeral. Alfred Rob's right. He was crying like he was never going to see Tank Dell again. You are absolutely correct. We thought you thought they just read a eulogy, a funeral for the guy, whatever the O word is. Eulogy. How do you even say it? Damn it. Why do my eyes burn? But guys, CJ Stroud is not it. CJ Stroud is not it. Sorry to say. But let's move on to the next inferno. Guys, it's Thursday, and that means it's time for the inferno. And folks, I got a flamethrower of this take today. Let me talk to you about something. It is absolutely blowing my mind right now. The Indianapolis Colts quarterback battle. This isn't a battle. This isn't a competition. This is a joke. This is mismanagement. This is ego. This is pride. All the Colts are playing with fire in the most important position in football. Look. Everyone with working set of eyes and a half a brain cell can see it. Daniel Jones should be the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts in week 1. Period. End of story. He fits the system. He fits the offense to a T. He's mobile. He can run the RPO. He's accurate when protected. He's been a playoff quarterback. He's battle tested. He's seen real NFL defenses. He's thrown a real NFL touchdowns in a real NFL playoff game. But instead of doing the obvious, the Colts are stuck in this fantasy where Anthony Richardson is still the future. Let's cut the nonsense. Richardson was drafted way too high. He was projected as a day 2 pick. Guess what? He was a 4th overall pick, and the project has failed. This quarterback who missed more games than he has played can't stay healthy and refuses to do offseason work that matters. You know what he did this summer? He started a rap career. He didn't throw to his teammates in California. He didn't work on chemistry, didn't get better. He rested and became a rapper. Now he's got soreness in his throwing shoulder yet again. Oh, don't worry, he's healthy. Give me a break. And don't forget what happened last year when he pulled himself out of the game against the Texans. He pulled himself out. A young quarterback trying to earn his teammates' trust, trying to prove he belongs, and he taps out. Man, get the F out of here. I don't want to hear any excuses about soreness or protection or whatever narrative the Colts beater is trying to spin. He quit. And when a quarterback quits, everyone notices. Even if you quit just once, you lose the locker room. Meanwhile, Daniel Jones, the same guy everyone laughed at for years, is quietly doing exactly what professionals do. He's learning the system. He's not complaining about reps. He's grinding through cramps. He knows the moment is big, and he's not running away from it. But Sheikin wants to play this 50-50 rep game. Shut up! Chris Ballard wants to see both guys in joint practice. Enough! You don't need joint practice to see what you already know. Daniel Jones gives you the best chance to win now. Don't feed me this line about building for the future. What's good for the future when the present is a disaster? The Colts have a winnable early schedule. They could open up 3-1 if they get competent quarterback play. But if they roll with Anthony Richardson, the window's just shut by week 4. So let me say it louder for the people in the back. Anthony Richardson is done in Indy. Daniel Jones needs to be quarterback 1. Anything else, guys, is football malpractice. So in the comments below, guys, is it time for the Colts to move on from Anthony Richardson and give the reins to Daniel Jones once and for all? Guys, subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time right here, youtube.com/manhour. But let's move on to the next one. The next one, guys, strap in. Strap in, guys, because it is Thursday Inferno, and this one's going to get burnt hot. Let's get right to it. This week, guys, John Harbaugh went on ESPN's This Is Football and said, and I quote, Lamar Jackson is as good as a passer there ever has been. What? What are we doing here, John Harbaugh? Coach Harbaugh, I respect your loyalty. I respect your fire, but you're doing your quarterback any favors. You're not doing him any favors whatsoever when you sit up there and you try to rewrite the quarterback's history. Listen, I'm not here to take anything away from Lamar Jackson, the athlete. He's the MVP. He has the NFL record setter. He just became the most prolific running back quarterback of all time, surpassing Michael Vick's career rushing yards. That's legendary. I get it. But calling him the best passer ever? that's where the conversation jumps to the Sharks. Let's just be honest, guys. Lamar Jackson throws it with the gimme throws. I'm talking about the routine short to mid-range passing games. The stuff that makes every great quarterback live off of, right? Quick timing slants, drag routes, dump offs, and rhythm. Those are the passes Lamar Jackson still struggles with consistently. And yet we're calling him historically great? Come on, man. You cannot cherry pick all the stats you want. Yes, he had 119.6 passing rating last season. Yes, he had 4 games with perfect pass rating. Yes, he had games where he threw more touchdowns than incompletions. That's all nice. That's all fine. But let me ask you this. When the pocket collapses, when it's 3rd and 7, when you can't run and you need to hit a slant in a tight window, can Lamar do that consistently? Can he hit the 12-yard dig with anticipation? Can he hit the check down when he reads the breakdowns? Because that's what great passers do. Brady did it. Breeze did it. Manning did it. Mahomes does it right now. They live off throws you're supposed to make. Lamar, he still floats those easy ones. He bounces the layups. He hesitates on throws that should be automatic. And listen, I'll give him this. He has worked. Harbaugh talked about that. He's grinding every day. The talent is unquestionable. The growth is visible. Don't gaslight the football world thinking he's already the Mount Rushmore of passing. You want to praise him as the best dual threat quarterback ever? I'm with you. You want to say he's redefined the position? Absolutely. But don't sit on ESPN and act like he's Dan Marino, Joe Montana, or Patrick Mahomes with the ball in his hands in the pocket, because he's not. And here's the thing. He doesn't need to be. Lamar's greatness is what brings the uniquely to the field. He's just not another passer. He's a game breaker, system alternating, defensive nightmare hybrid quarterback. That's enough. So Coach Harbaugh, I get it. You're riding with your guy. You're hyping up your leader, but there's a difference between backing up your quarterback and blowing smoke up the world's backside. Calling Lamar one of the best, greatest passers of all time, that's not the truth. That's public relations. So guys, in the comments down below, do you agree with Coach Harbaugh? Is Lamar Jackson already one of the best passers in NFL history? Or is just the coach just doing damage control? Guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We're live every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time. Let's get into your comments. Fellow Mike says, Lamar ain't the same area code as Brady, Manning, or Rodgers, or Favre. Hell, he ain't even in Phillip Rivers' neighborhood. Preach, brother. Preach to the choir. Pound your chest and say it. But the fact that we say it on Man Hour, the fact that we say it on the Believe Network, because we're not on ESPN. People like, oh, you guys are all crazy, man. Suck a dick, bitch. Suck a dick at the end of the day. We all have eyes. We all see that Lamar Jackson cannot hit an out route consistently. Sails it in the dirt. But hey. Alpha Rob says, Alpha Rob. Josh Allen is head and shoulders better than Lamar Jackson. Greatest passer ever. Hell, Josh Allen. I would rather have Josh Allen as a dual threat quarterback than Lamar Jackson any day of the week. Yes, Lamar Jackson's fast. Yes, he can wiggle out of his shoes, whatever. But when you have, a 6'7", a 260-pound quarterback running at you, running over fucking linebackers, putting your dick in the dirt, and then he can throw it 60 yards on the field? Give me Josh Allen every day of the week, baby. And Baker Mayfield is a better passer. I could probably name 12, 13 better passers. Trey Lance right now is a better passer than Lamar Jackson. Watch the film tonight. Watch it. Come on, baby. ESPN wants Lamar Jackson to win the Super Bowl so bad. Facts. Do you want to know why? Because it will fit their narrative so well. Because Patrick Mahomes isn't black enough. Jalen Hurts is too squeaky clean. He's not black enough. They need that gangster-looking quarterback that speaks with like a twang. That is what they want. Hello, Mike says, come talk to me when Lamar Jackson ain't choking away a playoff game. Brothers. You're preaching to the choir, man. You guys are preaching to the choir. Now, some might say I'm a Lamar Jackson hater. I've said since Lamar Jackson entered the league, since he said, I'm going to win a Super Bowl in the first 5 years in Baltimore, the night he got drafted, I'm like, whoa, slow it down, baby. Slow it down, baby. Don't be putting yourself up on this pedestal when you haven't got it to the race yet. But that's what he did. That is what the Baltimore Ravens fans do. That's what ESPN has done. And that's what people have continued to do over and over and over again. But hey, when I called him out 3, 4, 5 years ago, I was being a hater. When I called him out 3, 4, 5 years ago, I was being racist. When I called him out 3, 4, 5 years ago, Buck, you're just a hater. You're just y'all are just crazy. Y'all are just crazy at the end of the day. But guys, it is time to wrap things up for tonight. It is time to wrap things up, guys. We've had a great show. We talked the AFC South. But before we wrap things up, guys, I want to take a moment to say something real. It's simple, but it's powerful. Guys, I want everyone to love everyone. Look, we live in the world where it's loud, it's divided, and always moving at 100 miles an hour. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you root for on Sundays or what side of the argument you fall on. We're all people at the end of the day. We're just trying to find our way, chase our passions, and be heard. So let's choose respect. Let's choose kindness. Let's stop tearing each other up down and start building each other up. In a space on this show, we talk football. We talk facts. We debate hard, but we do with it respect. Because that's how it should be. That's what's real community looks like. So if you're taking, guys, if you take nothing else away from tonight, remember this. ELE. Everyone love everyone. Be good to each other, guys. Support your neighbors and keep that same energy off the field that we celebrate on. Guys, be out.
Hey, now we live, man, our NFL talk, yeah. Now we live, man, our NFL talk. This is the show that you want. NFL raw and uncut, keeping it live. Gotta turn it up louder and get it ready for the man hour, yeah. Man hour NFL talk. Let's go.